Peace, 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 viewers. This is A Vision Media Broadcast once again. You're watching it now. Another episode, another special episode that we have. This man is he's a legend with the legendary group. We have the man Airrion Love from the Stylistics. They brought you Betcha Golly, Betcha Golly. I'm sorry for that. Rock and roll, baby, break up to make up. They gave me so many hit songs, and we have the man here, Airrion Love. He's going to talk to us and be with us for a few and explain his career and his journey in the music industry. How are you, Airrion?
I'm doing great this morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Now, since we have you on the show, you give me the opportunity to talk to you, and now you're here.
Yes.
That's a wonderful thing. I'm great.
Yeah,
what I want to do is
Betcha by Golly, wow.
Yeah. There you go. Betcha by Golly, wow.
There you go. That's it.
There you go. It's a tongue twister at times, so but I wanted to take a walk down memory lane. Just talk about the journey and how everything started. Mm-hmm. Can you give me that history of how the Stylistics got together?
Okay, originally there were two groups in high school. One was called the Monarchs. Myself and Russell Thompkins, we were in the Monarchs. Then the other group was called the Percussions. And when we graduated from high school, some of the members from each group either went into the military or went into college. So my group was left with two members, and Percussions had three members. So we combined the two groups and changed the name to the Stylistics. And that started it. It was right after high school. And we were left with two members, and the other group was left with three members. And we combined the two groups and changed the name to the Stylistics. So that started everything for us.
Most of the groups now from like the 60s, back then or up, they always have another set. It'll be either the former ones, they started their own, how it go, like that. Mm-hmm. After that happened, like, is there any competition with that, as far as like if there's two groups out there? Is it competition, or is everybody just fine with it? Everybody's cool?
Well, in the beginning, that's how the Stylistics started, the two groups. I'm not talking about the situation now. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about 50 plus years ago. We formed from two different groups.
Years ago.
Right. And so now, Russell, our lead singer, he went solo like 20 years ago, and he tried that for a while. Yeah. And from what I hear, that wasn't working out too well. And then he put together his version of the Stylistics. So now that there's two groups out, it's the people's choice. People come to see our show, they come to see Russell's show. We don't say what show is better. Right. The people make their own decision.
Yeah.
But he's out there. He's entitled to work and feed his family like we are. So I don't wish him any ill. Wish him the best. And we've been going on 20 years without him. So yeah, it's been working.
20 years strong. It's been working 20 years strong.
Yeah.
And I also want to go back just a little bit. Can you give me the history, or tell me about Beverly Hamilton? How did she play a major part in the group's career?
Yeah, Beverly was an English teacher in high school. So when we were singing around doing talent shows, she suggested that put the two groups in the high school together and come up with a new name. So Beverly was our first manager when we started working at Stylistics. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, she was the first manager. Okay. All right. And she also came up with the name Stylistics?
No. At that time, we were trying to decide on which name, because we wanted to keep the Monarchs and the other group wanted the Percussions. So the guitar player, Robert Douglas, he came up with the name Stylistics. And when we heard it, we said, yeah, that'll work. And that's when we acquired the name Stylistics.
what first got you into music? What was that thing that said, okay, I want to do this? What first got you into it?
Well, as a child, I was always singing around the house. And as I
Okay.
was growing older, I was saying, well, yeah, I want to be a singer. When reality started setting in around 17, 18, I said, that's a pipe dream. It's not going to ever happen. So let me get my mind together for something serious. And I started working computer programmer once I graduated. But we were always doing local talent shows, not knowing whether it would actually take off. And a guy by the name of Bill Perry approached us to record. And he took us in the studio to record our first record, You're a Big Girl Now. And that thing, it started the ball rolling in Philadelphia. The record went to #1. And then Bill signed with Avco Records, and they released the record national. And then after that, Avco said, okay, it's time for an album.
Album deal.
They got in touch with Thom Bell, and Tommy took us in the studio to record our first album.
Wow, so we talking. I'm not even going to go back to the years of that, because I know it's been a minute. But with Bill Perry, he's a local record exec, right?
Yeah, he had his own record company, a local record company.
Okay, and this happened. This took place in Philadelphia, viewers, because the Stylistics are from Philadelphia, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And Bill Perry actually led you guys to doing big things. And as far as Bill Perry,
Bill, we were working at a club in Philadelphia, and Bill came to the show, and he asked us, would we be interested in recording? And we said, sure. And he said, do we have any original material? And Robert Douglas, the guy that came up with the name of Stylistics,
he's a guitarist.
Right. Yeah. And went into the studio with our own musicians. And I think the session cost Bill $500 to record the record.
Back then, wow.
Back then. Wow. And he released it locally on his label. And then he made a deal with Avco and got some money, and we never saw Bill anymore. After that. That
was my next question too about that. He got you guys a deal to do a song, to do the song, and it was, I think it was about maybe $10,000. I'm just guessing, maybe $10,000-$20,000.
Yeah, he made a deal with Avco Records.
Yeah,
to send the record back. Avco gave him $10,000.
Now he left. He disappeared. Yeah, he disappeared. You never seen him again. Do he still get paid off of that record to this day if he's still around?
I would think so. Yeah, because Robert Douglas wrote it, and he still gets a royalty from that record. So, but Bill didn't write it. Only thing he did was, I guess, produced it. And when he released it, it was only on his record label. And when he made the deal with Avco put it on their record label. So he didn't get any money from Avco except for that $10,000. He didn't get a royalty. So.
Okay. Yeah, because and the reason why, I love the Stylistics, and I can go back to Blue Magic, all these groups, man, because of my mother, my father, my family listen to this stuff. You definitely deserve a lot of things. Even like you have the Philly Walk of Fame, the honor. You was honored the Philly Walk of Fame, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And how was that? Yeah, how was that moment? It was historical, that moment. How was it for you guys? Like, how did you feel about that, getting honored?
Yeah, we were honored to be even offered a star on the main street, one of the main streets in Philadelphia, Broad Street, and that part of the street is called the Avenue of the Arts.
Yeah, the Avenue of the Arts.
Yeah, we're on that. We have our star on there with a number of other Philadelphia artists. I mean, Patti LaBelle's on, so.
Yeah, Patty on there. I guess it's a couple people, but you definitely deserve that star. Definitely. Yep. I know that in certain groups they're always adding an extra person. It's always like that. When you said you mentioned Russell Thompson, right?
Right.
After that happened, the departure, was it hard for you guys to find another person to come in? Because I know, were you the second lead singer?
Yes.
Was it hard for you guys to try to, fill those shoes for someone else to come in?
It's funny. It's like, any marriage, when you see things going downhill, you try to do the best you can to save it. But I mean, that was when Russell left. It wasn't something that just happened overnight. It was gradually working its way there, and we were still working, and we were meeting other singers. And this one singer we met by the name of Harold Brown, E-Band, we call him, had a first tenor just like Russell. So we told him, look, we don't know when it's going to happen, but just be prepared that when it happens, you can just step in. And this was like maybe a year and a half before Russell left. Russell left like on that Saturday. We were in Cleveland, Ohio. That next week, we went on with the new singer.
Just went right on.
In a matter of 7 days, we went on with another lead singer.
Wow, so it wasn't even that long. You just went and did what you had to do.
Yeah, we were lucky. I mean, I say to the day, Russell has a very, very unique and beautiful voice, and he was the voice of the Stylistics. So when he just left, I mean, we were on stage and he like walked off halfway through the song and walked past our manager and said, "That's it, I'm done."
Just like that. Wow.
Just like that. And we looked around at each other like, what? What's up? He said, "That's it, I'm done." And started cursing a whole lot of words and stuff. So, he's done. And Herb told me, he said, "Look, don't worry about it. Got somebody in the wings that's waiting." And that's when eBay came and took off his place.
Yeah, and so that's another thing that is very important to me. When you're a group and you've been doing things for so long together, I guess you got to always think about what will happen if. So you always have somebody as a backup doing something. So that way it won't leave you stuck. Because if you don't have no type of plan, then you're stuck. But you guys was all right. So and
you know what? In this,
shout out to
the other thing you're faced with are will the fan base accept it? If they would accept it. And the first few times we went on without Russell, you can hear the disappointment in the audience when we came out on stage and they didn't see him. But once they heard E-Band sing, our thoughts were, as long as we can sound like the records, it should work. And the more that we worked with E-Band, it worked. And what E-Band was doing, he was doing songs Russell just refused to do. Russell said, "I'm tired, I'm not singing everything." Well, how can you not sing everything? You sung lead on everything. So what do you mean you're not singing all these songs? I'm tired of singing. You got to sing 5 songs. Herb got to sing 5 songs. Well, if that's the case, then people are going to hear 10 non-stylistic songs. We can't do a show like that. So it was that kind of stuff that was just slowly going downhill and downhill. It was almost to the point where if he didn't leave, I was ready. I was ready to call it quits.
Wow, it's sad how
it wasn't a lot of argument going on. It was just nothing, no conversations, nothing.
Tension building up. Just tension.
Yeah, Yeah.
Well, the good thing about it is everybody's still friends, right? Everybody's still cool.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I just want to say that the Stylistics will forever be legendary, no matter what.
Thank you.
Forever be legendary. And shout out to Russell also.
Yeah,
Shout out to
give Russell his props. Yeah.
shout out to Russell. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
But
this.
I don't have a problem with Russell. Russell has a problem with us, and that's his demons that he has to deal with. Like I don't lose any sleep, trying to wish bad things on him. If he called me today, I would have a conversation with
That's
him,
good.
so I'm
That's
just
good.
that way, yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. How was it today when you do shows? I know it's over with now with the fans. They already know everything. So how was it
Hmm.
with the shows you do when you sing songs like let me do this right, the tongue twister, Betcha by Golly, wow, and you hear the fans singing along, just with you guys now. Russell's not there. How does it make you feel? They still participating with you guys. How was that feeling?
Yeah, what it is now when our shows consist of people that want to hear the Stylistics music,
Okay,
and they want to hear it as close to the record as possible.
it's
They don't
possible.
want to
That's
hear,
right.
you know, a stylistic song with somebody else leading that doesn't sound like the record.
That's
That's
right.
never
That's
going
right.
to work. It has to
That's right.
be as close to the original
As
song, and they get a
possible.
chance to reminisce. We got over 50 years of being out here. So in that time, there's a lot of music that people want to hear. And when we
Mhm.
do a show, they get a chance to hear it.
That's right. Well, that's wonderful. And before you guys step on stage, do you still get anxiety, like get nervous? I know you've been performing for many years, but do any of you still get nervous when you see the crowd when you walk out there?
Yeah, I do. And it
Oh,
depends
you
on
still?
the venue, the level of nervousness that I have. But to relax me, I have a Hennessy before I go home. And then uh, I feel,
Oh,
I don't know if it gives me, one thing, it opens my throat, and I'm
oh, okay.
relaxed from that
Mhm.
point on. But different shows is different pressure. If you're by ourselves, you can relax and do your songs. But if there's competition on the show and we're starring on the show, then we got to make sure that we're bringing our A game to it after other artists have been on.
That's right.
And that's just
That's
how
right.
we are.
That's right. That's right. There you go. You have to bring your A game, right?
Yep.
That's just how it goes. I know. I know. Back then, when you guys did, worked in the studio, you kicked out songs like back to back, back to back.
Mhm.
And today's, in today's world, I say today's world. Tell me about your process, the group's process now. How do you find inspiration to write good music? Because I know back then it seemed like it was much easier. Your mind was clearer, but now in today's
Mhm.
world, how do you find that inspiration to write this good music?
Well, all of the songs that we recorded, the hit songs, they was all written by Thom Bell and Linda Creed.
Oh,
So
okay, okay,
we, through the years, we've written a few songs, but none of them major hits like those. But as a writer, sometimes certain things just give you an idea. I'm not a prolific writer, or a piano player, but I can get a melody in my head and sit down at the keyboards and come up
okay,
with a melody. And 9 times out of 10, I have the melody before I have the words. And then
okay,
playing the melody, I may hear certain words, certain passages in, like, maybe like could be the chorus. And
okay.
that's how I structure the show. But it's different things in life. You can just be riding down the highway and see something that'll make you think of a song.
Yeah, just anything, right?
Yep.
Cause, yeah, because
Experiences. That's what it's all about. Yeah.
Okay, so you can just visualize and see some things I had and just take it back to the studio. Like I saw something and put it in a song.
Yep.
Did you ever pull over in your career? Pull over and just start writing something, because sometimes you may see something. Did you ever stop in your car, pull over? Let me get that down, or your phone, or something like that. I always wanted to know, how does an artist do that?
Well, I've had sometimes got a melody in my head and just
Yeah.
was humming it, and that don't have access to a piano or keyboard or anything. And I take my phone, turn it on, and just hum the melody. And then when
Oh,
I
okay.
get to the keyboard, I'll listen to it and I'll sit. Well, my keyboard's ready. That's how I'm
Yeah,
going to
I saw it. I saw it next to you.
and and pick out the melody, and I start structuring the chords from the
Okay.
melody. But very seldom do I completely write lyrics and then put music together. It's
Okay.
always opposite for me. I usually come up with the music first and then the lyrics.
And then the lyrics. Wow. So you do the music first, then the lyrics.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And that I know it works for you because you have been doing it for so long. So it works.
Well, I get frustrated sometimes. I'm not as good as I would like to be. I mean, we have keyboard players in the band that I'm just
Yeah.
amazed at, their techniques and some of their abilities. And I say, wow, I try to think of a chord to a melody, and I'll be there for hours trying to figure out the right chord. Then I go to them and say, well, this is the melody that I want, and they go right to the chord that I was looking for. You know? So
Wow.
yeah, it gets frustrating sometimes.
Do you have a favorite song? I mean, I asked this question because you guys have a lot of hit songs, but do you have a
Hmm.
favorite? And you can pick two because I know it's so many.
Yeah, I know, and I'm glad you said two because I was going to say I have two songs that are
Okay.
favorites.
All right.
Um, back in the day, it was the A and B sides to
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah.
If they put an A side out, sometimes the B side was played, sometimes it wasn't. But
Yeah.
I can't remember what the A side was, but the B side of one of the songs that I really love is "Payback is a Dog."
Payback is a dog. Okay.
That's one of
Another
the
classic.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the other one is naturally "You Make Me Feel Brand New."
You make me feel. Doing that, man. That record is like the crowd. It's like the women. I know you. The women goes off also, but just you know, back in the day, the music. And I'm only 47, but I have grew up around a lot of that, so
Hmm.
I can speak on it a little bit. It's a different feeling. It was a different feeling back then in the music. You know, you guys didn't just go and take the lady clothes off. You
Right,
caressed her first. You talked to her.
right,
You get her where she needs to be. How do you
right.
feel about the music today?
Well, I have mixed feelings. Some of the stuff I like, uh, some of the stuff I don't. I don't
Okay,
like. I don't like the songs with women calling a bunch of B words
that's right. That's right.
and all that.
That's right.
And I know amongst our culture, we call each other "You're my N word,"
That's right.
and I don't like that. I don't talk to my brothers that way. I may say some other words joking
Yeah,
around,
yeah, yeah. But not that though.
never that.
Mhm.
And some of the songs consist of that. I don't like. Now I got a nephew that when he gets in my car, he wants to flip it to that station.
Okay.
And I said, nope, not here. I said, when you're ready to buy your own car, then you can
Then you
put
play
that
your own music.
in your car, but not here. But some of the stuff I like. I love these names not coming to my head, but I love female artists, and
Some of them, right?
yeah, yeah, yep, and wow, I can't think of her name right now, but other than Whitney, Whitney's going to always be there.
Yeah,
Couple,
yeah.
Aretha Franklin, stuff like that you can. me personally relate to. And I was watching Aretha Franklin last night on some of the YouTube stuff.
Yeah, you too.
And I said, wow, everything is just so touching. It says simple words, but it says everything anyone I think could ever want to say to someone instead of a bunch of bees and
Right.
stuff like
That's
that.
right. That's right. Using all those crazy words,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't really I don't listen to. Sometimes I do, but my son, he's 22. I have another one, 15. I have two boys and one girl. They, of course, they're young. They love the music today, but that doesn't get played in my car at all. I don't like it. So I have no favorites at all. When it comes to new stuff today. But how about now that's with the R&B. How about rap? Do you listen to rap music?
Very little.
Okay.
Yeah, very little.
So we don't even have to go there then. Right?
Nope.
Well, that's fine. How do you respond to fans? I know you still have fans out there. So how do you respond to them when they send you messages? If you're on social media, how do you get back to them?
We have a website up and running, and people leave comments, and depending naturally what they're talking about or what they want to know, I get back to them.
Okay.
We get back to them. Yeah. Our fan base is fans we got now. I mean, they've been with us.
Yeah, for a while.
Yeah. And we were in Detroit weekend before last, and I was just amazed how young the audience.
Oh wow!
So we got a chance to talk to some of them afterwards, and they were saying, well, with my parents, your music is all I heard.
That's right. That's right. That's with me too.
That makes sense. And so our fan base is still there. Still got the fans that's been there for 40 plus years, and we got the younger ones that are coming up into it. Like I have a godson that emailed me. He said, called me Dad. He said, Dad, I don't believe y'all did this song, man. This is bad. He played one of our old songs. So he's heard it for the first time. But I think good music is good music. Anytime you hear it. I think so. That's never going to change. So I think after I'm long gone, I think our music will still be played and still be enjoyed.
That's right. That's right. And this is timeless music. I don't think that it will ever go away because it's timeless. You can play this music 20, 30, 40, 50. It's been going on that long anyway, but it can go another 30, 40, 50 years from now.
Yeah.
It can.
Yeah. And the amazing part of it, I mean, our music is even popular in Japan. And, English is spoken, but it's not the main language. And every time we go to Japan, every year, we're going to Japan, since 75, 76. Wow. So we got a UK tour that starts in October. It runs through December. And then December 6th, 7th, we go to Japan, and we're in Japan through January. So our overseas market, people are still following our music and still coming out to the shows. So definitely blessed for that. Definitely blessed.
Well, since you're talking about touring and you're going to Japan and the UK tour, can you give me a few memorable moments of how of what you really enjoyed about some of your shows? I know you have many, but if you could think of one memorable moment, can you share that with us?
Wow. Yeah, we played South Africa right after apartheid was lifted, and we played a football stadium with Randy Crawford and a couple more artists that would come to mind. And so when we got there, that's when we did the sound check, and the stadium was empty. And the show started, and when we went on stage, there were 22,000 people in the audience. Wow. And when we sang your song, Betcha by Golly, wow,
Yeah.
everybody lit
Or
either
a lighter.
or their
Yeah.
cell phone, and you
Yeah.
saw thousands and thousands of lights around the stadium. That blew my mind when I saw that.
Wow. Because
It stands out to me.
that was touching, right? It was very touching because it's like they are really in tune with us. Like they love us.
Yep.
Wow, man. That sounds like it. It was wonderful. Wow. And I know you have more stories, but we're gonna keep that one because that's like the very touching one right there. You know. You know?
Yeah.
If
In fact, that was the first time we went to South Africa when we did that show. But we went back like maybe 4 or 5 times since.
okay. And if you can change anything about the music industry, what would it be?
Wow. That's a great question. Um, it's funny because the change is happening now. So uh, when we were coming up,
Hmm.
uh, the whole approach was different. You signed a deal with a record company. They spent X amount of dollars
Yeah.
for to go take you in the studio and record, and from that, the sales of that, you got anywhere from 2 cents to 6 cents per record.
Yeah.
You know, if you wrote and produced it, you got more. But if you didn't, you just got that. Now, today's, with all the different platforms, you can go in your home, record your own album,
That's right.
put it on one of the platforms,
That's right.
own your own music.
That's right.
If the record company is interested, they
Mhm.
will pay you for that album to send it out nationally. So the changes that is happening now in the record industry is what I would change from 50 years ago.
50 years ago.
Yeah,
Wow.
we have more control now.
That's so. Yeah, the change is to have more control, which is happening now, like you said.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow. Would you encourage any new artist or someone that would like to start singing to get into this industry? Like I know it's easier now, but what would you tell them if they wanted to step in? Like either a family member, your nephew or whoever.
Right.
What would you tell them about this industry?
Well, I mean, even with the internet, there's just so much knowledge that you can get
Yeah.
about the record industry, and it may seem exciting and everything to get a record out, but to just have a record out is not what it's about. If you want people to have an interest in
Yeah.
your product, then it has to be something that's a little different than everything else that's out there.
That's right.
You got to create something that the people want to hear. And
Mhm.
once you do, don't sign everything away.
Wow.
If you want to know what to keep, go on to the internet, ask some questions, type that, what do I look for in signing a contract?
Yeah.
And it give you all that information there so you can protect yourself, number one,
Mhm.
because there's managers out there, there's record companies out there that will still take advantage of you and
Right. That's right.
take everything that you can possibly make. And next thing you know, you're tied up for 50 years and you can't get out of that contract.
Stuck in
So,
the contract.
yeah,
Mm.
learn as much as you can first. Still master your craft, but don't sign anything away until you know exactly what you're doing.
That's knowledge right there. That's knowledge. Don't do anything until you know what you're doing. You
Yeah,
know, and yeah, lawyers involved, all of that, right?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And what's next for the Stylistics? Like, what do you guys have coming up?
Retirement.
Well, you just talked about a UK, a show, a tour in UK, so
uh,
you can't retire yet.
it's funny because Herb and I joke, God, we're still blessed, still able to go on stage, still do all our choreography. And there's groups that we have worked with that we continue to work with that, they're just not as healthy as they were 5 years ago. Yeah. So I think we're going to just continue to do what we do the best way we can until we can't do it no more. Now, I'm not that vain, but I told her I'm not going to go out. I'm not going to go out on stage in a wheelchair. I don't want somebody pushing me up to a mic and sing that way. When and if that happens, I'm done. I'm gonna retire.
You're hanging it up. It's over.
Yeah, but it's some people out there that's just struggling to do all that they can possibly do at a, and it's hard. I don't want to go through that. Wow. Yeah, I don't want to do that. But we got a UK tour happening in October. We're scheduled for Japan again. We got a California, 2 weeks in California coming up in July. We had Yoshi's, which is in Oakland, California. So we're still busy. So every time we get a day off or a few, I try to just totally take it easy and we do some fishing and relax.
I hear that, man. I hear that. When you mentioned retired, I always wanted to know this. I did. When you say retired, you know how on a regular job when you retire, you may get a pension, you may get disability. When you retire in the music industry, what do you receive every month? What kind of package do they give you for retirement?
Zip.
Wow. All the work you put in, all the tours you put in, the record label give you zero.
Zip. And in the case of record company, we're not signed with a record company now. So we still get royalties. Okay. I guess royalties will continue until we die, And now I collect Social Security. I'm entitled to it. So good to me. I pay my taxes every year.
That's right.
Everybody else does. So give you my Social Security. Social Security is set up that I can make any amount I want during the year and still get Social Security.
That's right.
So, but when I retire, other than the nest egg that I got saved and Social Security, that's it.
That's good. And plus, your music lives on. Royalties keep coming.
Exactly.
Oh, you good.
Exactly.
And they still going to be, sometimes they still call you out of retirement and ask you, can you come do this performance for us?
Yeah.
Can you do this cameo? You still do little jobs,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. But you know what? It's like, wow. At what point, do you say, okay, that's it? Now I'm going to say that's it when I can't do it anymore. But you look at someone that's been, rolling for 50 years.
Yeah.
Even though you have a large fan base that wants to continue seeing them, you got to look at your body. You got to see, your health.
That's right.
After so many years, your family grows up. So, do I want to just enjoy the rest of my life, or do I just want to continue to be in the public's eye, worrying about how much weight I gain, when I can fit into my uniform? Do I want to do that at 80 years old? No, I don't think so.
Wow.
I don't think so. And I'm 74. In fact, I'll be 74 October. And knock on wood, I feel fine. God has blessed me. I'm not a smoker.
Well, good.
I drink occasionally. But until I feel like,
it's over.
It's too hard, then until that, I'll continue to do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you will definitely know. Your body will always tell you
always
when it's time to stop.
Always. Herb and I are the same age, and we say, well, we can still kick, but just not as high.
Yeah. Well, wow, yeah.
Not as high. Yep.
Wow. How do you perform under stress? Let's just say you're home with your wife. You had a big fight. You have to go on tour in about 2 hours. This fight is, arguing. I'm not saying punching. Like, you guys argue back and forth, and no one is listening to each other. Now, you left like that. You're going on tour. How do you still stay focused after going through a problem like that? How do you handle that?
Well, with me, I very seldom do I get to that point.
Okay.
There's things that may happen in my life that affects me
Well,
on stage. Like 95, my brother used to be our valet. He passed, and he was sick when I left home, and we were out in California. And when I called back home to check on him, that's when he had passed.
Oh,
So
this is while on tour, while you was out in LA.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I couldn't finish Brand New. I couldn't finish singing that song because I got choked up each time, and I guess it took me about 6 months to finally be able to get through singing that song all the way through.
Wow.
But by him being our valet, he was our valet for 10 years. He was always there.
You developed a relationship with him. It's like a family now.
Yeah. So that was hard. But usually there's arguments and stuff at home. When I go away, I say, yeah.
Fresh air. I'm out of that environment. Fresh air.
And I leave it back there where it was and go ahead and do what I got to do. And as I'm on the plane coming back home, I said, okay, back to reality.
But when you're on that plane, you bring your money back. So you're bringing up money or some flowers in the crib, and it's over.
Yeah. But by that time, the few days that I'm away gives things time enough to cool out.
Yeah. Time to heal,
And then you're talking on the phone. So each time you talk on the phone, that's like a thermometer to see how things are.
Yeah. It's get better and better after a while.
Yeah.
Right. Wow, man. Listen, I had a good time, and I know that you have more stories. I would like to do this again.
Hey, my pleasure.
I will, man. And I thank you so much. Viewers, we have the legend, Airrion Love. Also, the Stylistics is his group. Those also legendary. That's a legendary band group. I thank you so much for coming to A Vision Media Broadcast.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
And just real quick, and me too, I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. And for the fans, can you please give them the website again so they can go on and try to find some music that they like?
Sure. It's the Stylistics, one word, .org, O-R-G.
Okay, the Stylistics.org. Wow.
Yeah.
I thank you so much, man. I really do. I appreciate this. It was great.
Thank you.
Do it again.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it. Great questions.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.